Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Look, I think it's just about that time that you make that move, you make and you take that leap and move and reside within the Muslim lands. Look, I know it's difficult, I know it's daunting. I'm a father, alhamdulillah, of 5, and I know it's completely going out of your comfort zone, and it's challenging, it's daunting, but at the end of the day, you have to realize and think it could be extremely detrimental if you stay and reside within non-Muslim lands, because at the end of the day, Allah Azza wa Jalla says in the Quran, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ, I didn't create mankind and jinn except to worship me alone. Now, when you're in a place and an environment where their future, their religion is being challenged day in, day out, it's time you make that move and you make the leap and you go to a place where there's no tax, you're fully safe. Sisters can walk around 2 o'clock in the morning without any fear whatsoever. You can live in the lands where you hear the adhan 5 times a day. Your children go to school and they study Arabic, Quran, and pick up that good characteristics from other Muslims that are there. They are able to socialize. You're not fearing them being killed, stabbed, and so on and so forth. Look, the list goes on. I don't want to make it a lecture, but all I'm saying is that Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, I've set up a service with my company, Move to Medina, where you're able to actually choose what you want and we take care of everything. You select the package, whether it's the bronze, the silver, the gold, or the premium. If you want custom, reach out. We're here to help and make that transition as smooth as possible, because at the end of the day, imagine being able to wake up and you go to pray salah and you get rewarded khayrun min alf salah, better than 1,000 rewards. Imagine being able to live in the lands where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam lived in. You can't get better than that, brothers and sisters. So don't wait, make the move and reach out to us. Move to medina@gmail.com. Assalamu alaikum.
حركاتهم وهمومهم وعزومهم لله لا للخلق والشيطان. نعم الرفيق لطالب السبل التي تفضي إلى الخيرات والإحسان. تفضي إلى الخيرات والإحسان.
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, how are you?
Allah yabarak. Alhamdulillah, I'm good. I can't complain. So this is the beginning and the first of its kind in terms of MSL discussions, bringing on brothers that have accepted Islam, and that inshallah hopefully those that are listening can take inspiration and benefit off their story, and inshallah hopefully take something home away. So if you can start, inshallah Habibi, just introduce yourself. Who was AbdulKhaliq before Islam?
Bismillah walhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So yeah, before Islam, I was just normal Christian. Just a normal Christian. I grew up in a Christian household. My mom used to read us Bible stories. I used to learn prayers before dinner, before bed. I went to church on Sundays. Sometimes Saturdays as well. So I go to church Saturday and Sunday.
So obviously you come from a practicing Christian.
Yeah. I would say, like, compared to my peers and from what I've seen around me, I was definitely, I would say, a little bit more in like a stricter household.
MashaAllah. Yeah. Which area did you go from London?
Deptford, Lewisham. Yeah, I was born in Lewisham Hospital.
South London,
South London. Yeah, I went to school in Beckenham. So yeah, definitely compared to my friends and stuff, I wasn't allowed to go out to a lot of places. I'd curfew. Yeah. My mum was very.
Your mother was actually.
Yeah.
She cared about
100%. Even my brothers and my sisters said the exact same thing. Like, even they were growing up, like, for example, friends would go places. I said to my mum, "Can I go?" No. I have to be home by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Obviously, there was leeways. Like, for example, it was my birthday.
Yeah.
Or like a friend's birthday who my mum knew. Like she, for example, she knew their parents.
Yeah.
Then she said, "Oh, you can go. You can spend time with them and stuff." But generally speaking, I didn't go a lot of places.
That's actually interesting to find out, because it's like when you find most people growing up, Muslim or non-Muslim, you find a lot of time the parents not really involved in the life of the child. Like, they're not really that active in terms of what's going on. But obviously your mother kept tabs then.
Yeah, 100%. Very, very well. Everything with the school as well. Every meeting, parents, problems, everything. She was 100%. Yeah.
So obviously it paid off though, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Meaning,
100%.
I'm pretty sure it saved you from doing a lot of,
Yeah.
silly stuff.
Yeah, 100%. A lot of stuff my friends are getting up to. I wasn't involved in a lot of the stuff.
Mashallah.
Yeah.
And obviously, when you're growing up, did you ever, think that when you were doing it, the whole practicing Christianity and what have you, going to church, were you doing it because of your parents, or were you doing it because you actually had a passion and love for it? Like, did you have any understanding?
I would say I was in the middle because obviously there was a part where it was like, for example, like Sunday school, you go and you interact with other kids, right?
Yeah.
So that part was enjoyable. Mixing with kids my own age. There was even like events at the church, for example, that wasn't on a Sunday or Saturday, that normal service. I'd have like events for like kids to come and stuff. Like for example, like during half term, them have something at the church. I remember a few different stuff that I went to when I was younger. The stuff like that was enjoyable. Obviously part of it again is because obviously as a kid, my parents are going, I'm going with them as well.
Yeah.
So it was 50-50. Obviously there's times I didn't want to go, but I would go. And time I was looking more forward to it. And then I would go. But in regards to understanding, there wasn't that much like emphasis on like teaching, I would say, from when I was a kid. And even as I grew up a bit, for example, around the ages of like 11, 12, because there was a point where I stopped going to Sunday school. Like I could still go when I was young, but I stayed with my mum and my dad during like the normal service for like I guess like the adult stay.
Okay. Yeah.
And yeah, there wasn't like really teaching people and stuff. It was more like, honestly speaking, there was a lot of singing. Like, they sing, you sit down, they may say one, two stuff again, you get up, you sing again, they say, and then you sing, and then that's mostly what it was, for at least my experience. Because I went to two different churches. I had one that was on like the top of my road.
Okay.
So let's say, for example, in a month, maybe my dad would take us to maybe the church on top of our road twice, and the other church, which was like more towards Greenwich, would take us there twice. So one church was more singing, I would say, and the other church was more still singing, but I guess they went more into like the scripture of the Bible in the other church.
So did you benefit? Did you pick up anything? Like, meaning, as a Christian back then, looking back, as a Muslim now, did you actually learn a lot of your religion as a Christian? Did you say that you had enough knowledge to know who your Lord was, who Jesus was, and what have you? Like, did you have that understanding? Because the reason I'm asking, because obviously you find a lot of time people say, about Christianity, they don't really know. So I want to pick your brains and see how it was for you, your experience.
I would say my understanding of Christianity, I would say, was very not in depth. I think I had the same basic understanding I think most people would have of like Jesus being God, and just like basically just like living a good life, like following the Ten Commandments and things like that, but not like a very in depth like understanding of like what it means to really be a Christian. But obviously, basic things. For example, like my mum had this big yellow book and had like all the Bible stories in it. So she would read that to us, yeah.
Bedtime story.
Yeah, like a bedtime story, yeah.
Okay.
So we'd go through.
What was in that book? What was it like?
It went through.
Was it different prophets? Or
yeah, literally. It was all the different stories. There was the one, the story of Cain and Abel. Okay. The story of what was another story of? The story of Noah. Like all the different prophets and the stories from the Bible's perspective. It was all illustrated and things. So she would read that to us. So I got knowledge from that book as well, just upon like the basic stuff of the prophets. And then like little basic stuff that I might pick up, for example, like my dad and whatnot. Because obviously as well, my uncle, my mum's brother, he's a pastor in Jamaica, right?
Okay.
But he's like, how do I explain it? Like part of the ministry, he's like very kind of, I guess, big in a way. So like he travels to like the UK. He'll come to Scotland. He'll come to the UK. He'll come to England. Basically. Yeah. And you'll go to like America, Canada. I think he's even been Egypt as well. Because I remember when I was telling my mum wanted to go to Egypt, she was telling me, oh yeah, your uncle has been to Egypt as well. He said he liked it. So he's very big in that sense. Like they send him to places. Yeah.
Okay.
So
obviously, did he ever come and did you ever learn? Did you go to Jamaica when you were young to visit him?
Yeah. We went. I've been to Jamaica a few times in my lifetime. But in regards to like, for example, like him being who he is and like teaching us Christianity, not that much.
So it's mainly from your mother and father.
Mainly from my mum and father. Yeah.
Okay, inshallah. And obviously, like, tell us about Darnell. What did you used to get up to as a child? Just generally growing up. What were you into, hobbies and what have you?
Yeah, generally, as a kid, I think my main thing was really just playing games. To be honest, I was a gamer head. Yeah, consoles.
Okay.
Yeah, that was me.
Were you good?
Yeah, 100%.
Call of Duty, football, which one?
I was really into in my younger years. I was really into WWE.
Okay.
Yeah, WWE on the PS2, and then when I got the
PS2,
PS2,
back in the days, yeah.
and then the PS3, I moved over to. That's when I started playing again, like FIFA and stuff.
You
Like
good?
FIFA, yeah, I'm
Pretty decent.
pretty decent. Yeah. But yeah, I moved into like just all sorts of games, and then I got into football. I got into football very late. I started playing football around
For me,
14.
actually, physically playing it.
Yeah, physically playing it. I got into football around 14. I was a weird one because so I remember I think I was at school once, and I went on a trip with my school,
Okay.
and then like, a lot of the football guys went. We had a football match, and then I remember my head of when we came back, he said to me, "Oh, Darnell, do you want to play football?" I said, "Yeah, I don't mind." So one of my friends, he took me to his local team.
Okay.
I went to the local team.
Sunday league.
Yeah, Sunday League. Yeah, Sunday League. Went to the local team, and I was like, the description was, "This kid's very raw." Like, I didn't have no technical ability. I was just very fast and strong, but I had no technical ability at all.
Okay.
So then they tried to train me and
Can I
stuff.
ask you, did you used to sprint?
Yeah. I used to sprint. Athletics.
So you're fast?
Very fast.
100 meters?
100 meters.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's your PB?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
I couldn't tell
You're
you.
fast,
But
generally?
I was fast, yeah.
Okay.
I was always involved in those sort of things.
Yeah, so that's obviously your talent in terms of athletics, and obviously your coach saw that you were able to.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
So he said, "Oh, this kid's very raw." They tried to train me up and stuff, but I wasn't really kind of catching up to the rest of the players. So then they had a second team. Played with the second team, and I played with them for a bit, and I played football from 14 to 16. I played football. Then from 16 to 18, I played football. And after that, I never really played football again. Like, yeah, I had like little spells when I'd be like, I want to play football again, but then it'll just die out.
Yeah. What were your dreams as a kid? Like, what did you want to become as a kid when you were young?
One thing I remember, you just saying that now. I remember when I was very young, I used to play Sims.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I used to play Sims, and I used to make houses in Sims.
Okay.
So I used to be like, I want to be an architect. But I used to really enjoy like making houses in Sims and building like bedrooms and stuff.
So you're creative.
I'm a bit creative. I'd probably say my creativity is died down a bit. But when I was young, 100%, that was my thing. I was like, I want to be an architect. I remember I got like a sketchbook out. I used to like draw houses and try to go on YouTube and practice how to draw and stuff like that. But then I think after that, my main thing.
So you didn't actually pursue?
No, I didn't pursue architecture or anything like that. And then I think after that, I was just going with the flow, to be honest. Like just going to school, going classes, just seeing where stuff takes me. And I'd probably say it wasn't until maybe year 11, when I was 16, I started thinking about like career and stuff. But I think that's like the age where they start talking to you about university, apprenticeships, like what you plan to do.
Yeah. And
then I just used to think, okay, what's something that like makes a lot of money? That was literally my whole full process.
Yeah.
How do I make money, and something that I kind of enjoy? Because when it came to me enjoying stuff, there's not a lot of stuff I really enjoyed. Like if it wasn't me playing games or maybe playing football,
you didn't really enjoy much.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy much. And I said, I don't really have a job that I'm just like,
Yeah.
So then I remember doing IT in college. Not college, my sixth form. I was doing IT in my sixth form.
Yeah.
And I remember I spoke to my IT teacher, and he was going to give me the advice saying, IT is very broad. There's a lot of different aspects in it that you can maybe try to find something that you enjoy. So I said, I'll give it a shot.
But prior to that, you never really had any interest in IT?
Not before sixth form.
And then what did you do? Did you do an apprenticeship? Did you go to college, uni?
Yeah, so after sixth form was finished, I applied to university, and I took a gap year. So in that gap between then and uni, I learned how to drive. I went to Jamaica again in that gap year as well, and I just spent that year just relaxing, to be honest.
Obviously, when you said that you were taking a gap, at this moment of stage, you're still practicing Christian, going to church, or did that die down?
I wouldn't say I was going to church and stuff like that, but Christianity that was still present. Because I would say as me and my siblings grew up, there's a big gap between us. Like my next sibling closest to me in age is my brother.
Okay.
He's 31. Okay. And then after that is my sister, and she's 38. Okay. So there's a big gap between us.
You three?
Just us three, yeah.
Okay,
there's a big gap between us. And then, as we grew up, naturally things just died down a bit. Like you get older, you get more like freedom and stuff. But like, yeah, my dad would still go to church. I wouldn't go with him. I think I probably stopped going to church with my dad around the age of probably like 16. 16, I'll probably say around that age. That's when like my dad started asking me. Like before it was like come, like you have to come. Then I got to the age where it's like, do you wanna come? But then I just I can't go.
So it wasn't kind of enforced in
No.
some age.
Yeah.
Can I ask you why is that? You find that a lot of times, like as generally speaking, okay, let's compare. You find maybe Muslims growing up, their parents taught them to go to Salah, to pray, go drink. They get to a certain age where they leave it off. Maybe sometimes they get a bit weak, do something silly. But then you find that they have this thing where at least they have to go for Jummah, so at least the Friday prayer. But when I speak to a lot of brothers that accepted Islam, or even people that are Christians, when they grow up a certain age when they start working, it's like church. It's like it's not really part of their life. Is there a reason?
I know what you mean.
Because I've always like seen that that's usually the trait.
I think the main reason would be, like, from my personal experience, is church. I don't think you get that sense of like worship when you go to church. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like if you had that sort of feeling, like you want to go to church and worship my Lord, I think there would be less of a discussion. It would be like, oh, your dad, you going to church? Come with you. Or I'm going to church by myself. Like, I don't even need my dad to come. Type thing, you know?
Because you kind of feel like you're connected with your Lord.
Yeah, that feeling. But obviously, you going to church, you don't get that sort of feeling, or I don't feel like that's that sort of environment. So it's like, I don't need to go to something like that. I'd rather just stay home. I feel like if I'm going to go to church, it's going to be 2 hours on my Sunday. I'd rather just stay in bed and
do something else.
Just do something else, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, after when I got to around 16, and I stopped going. But obviously, you still keep up with traditions, like, like kids getting baptized. And
Say the grace before you eat.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like before you go to bed and stuff. Like, and one thing my mum used to always do as well.
Yeah.
Every Sunday, obviously, not she don't do it as much, but when we was younger, on the Sunday she'll cook a whole bunch of food, and everyone would gather around the dinner table, would all hold hands, and then my dad would pray and like bless the food. Yeah, so that's something we used to do literally every
day,
Sunday.
just a Sunday.
Every Sunday, every Sunday.
Normal times when you're having food like throughout the week together, the family, that wouldn't happen.
No, just Sundays.
Just Sundays, okay.
Just Sundays. Throughout the week, you just go warm up your food and just eat. But on Sundays, everyone would gather around the table, all hold hands, and then my dad would bless the food. And then when I got older, I started doing it myself.
Okay. Interesting. So, when was the time when you kind of started questioning your faith? Was there a stage? How did that happen? Because you're 10 years, obviously you're 16 years old.
Yeah.
And then what happened after 16?
So, when I think about it now, I was very oblivious to like religion, generally speaking. As much as a Christian, like, I never really thought about other religions. I never thought about Islam. I never thought about Judaism or Hindu. Like, these things never crossed my mind.
Did you have like peers in the classroom, college, sixth form, that were Muslim or that were different religion?
But that's the thing, subhanAllah. Like, when I thought about it, when I became Muslim and I thought back, I said, oh wait, these guys, they were Muslim. But in my younger years, it's like I was just so, you know what I mean? Everyone just kind of does the same thing. It's like I was just oblivious to people, different beliefs and different faiths. Like, even if I just see a sister wearing a hijab, I still wouldn't even, like, my man wouldn't recognize that this is a Muslim. Like, I just used to just go about my daily business. I was just oblivious to all those sort of things. And then it wasn't until I went uni in my first year, I met a Muslim brother. And subhanAllah, I thought I knew the brother. But I didn't know him. So I remember I approached him, like, saying hello and stuff and whatnot. Yeah. He's kind of confused. I'm like, oh no, like, you look familiar. I'm sure I know you. I'm sure I've met you before. I can't remember your name. Like, no, you never met before. Nothing like that. So then, obviously, for the interaction, me and him became friends, right? Yeah. And I took his number and everything.
Can I pause you there? Can I ask you one question? What was your life like just before that?
Just before that?
Was it normal? Was it... Because usually there's like... Some people say that there's a story or there's something or reached the edge. Or was with you, was that the case, or was it just you were living normal life and you just came across this brother?
I would say I was living life normally, to be honest. Okay. I wouldn't say there's anything that kind of like triggered of a sense of like purpose. That makes sense. Okay, it was like someone more speaking to me, and then it made me question it instead of like something happening to me. That makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. So then,
so you approached him.
Yeah, I approached him, and then I remember we was going out somewhere. Like, uni, they have like those sort of, what's it called, like fresher stuff. Yeah. Where people get to know each other, right? Yeah. So I remember we've gone somewhere, and obviously I'm just doing whatever I'm doing, right? Because I'm just living my normal life and stuff like that. And I've seen him, and he's not really interacting and whatnot and stuff. So I'm going to him,
meeting with other people.
Yeah, with other people, yeah. So I'm kind of going to him like, oh, what's happening? Why are you not coming in there? And he's like, I'm Muslim. I'm Muslim. Or, you know what I mean? What's that?
So up until now, you still didn't even remember?
Yeah, like, I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything. Like, and then I remember, because I even remember, like, when I became Muslim, which I'm gonna go back to that story, but even when I became Muslim, like, for example, my family used to say stuff to me, all these different things, and I was just thinking, but all these things they're saying to me, like, I'd seen them before when it happened, but it just never affected me. Like, for them, it like affected them in a way, like they say, oh, Muslims are this, Muslims are that.
Yeah.
But me, I'd see it, and then, because I always had that mindset of people just do things. Like, I'm not gonna see someone do something and say, oh,
and then
these
judge.
are, yeah.
Stereotype, yeah.
So yeah, I remember I said to the brother, what's that? And he said, oh, it's my religion. He's telling me, basically saying it's close to Christianity. And then he listened, and then I was like to him, okay, so you don't do these things and stuff like that. He's like, no, I don't do that. I don't drink. I don't party. I don't do all these things. I was like, okay, all right, cool. And then I think it was the next day. So I kind of just left it at that. And I think the next day I must have said to him, I like told me a little bit more. And then he came to my accommodation. And then he was just like to me, basically.
So you asked him, can you tell me a bit more?
Yeah, can you tell me a bit more,
you were inquisitive. You wanted to know the reason.
Yeah, but I was thinking this guy's not getting involved. Like, I'm having fun, and he's just standing there like, well, you know what's going on.
Yeah.
So then I remember the next time to my accommodation.
But it's weird, actually. It's just amazing how you didn't judge him and want to kind of be distant from him. You wanted to actually know.
Yeah.
Like, what was the reason? Is it just generally speaking, you like different?
I was just curious.
Okay.
I think I was just curious because obviously it's not something I've seen before. Because obviously being back in London, the people I was around was all just doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, I never had a friend who was different. He was different. He was set out and stuff. Yeah. All just, you know. So obviously meeting him, and obviously we became friends that time. And then obviously we went to the thing together. I was thinking, you know, what's all of that about? So then he came to my accommodation the next day. And then he was just like to me, he just started breaking stuff down. He didn't get into too much depth. Like, the first thing he just said to me was, we don't believe Jesus is God.
We don't believe Jesus.
Yeah, that's the first thing he said to me. I said to him, okay. And he's like, do you believe Jesus is God? I was like, yeah, Jesus is God. And then he was like, Jesus was a man. I'm like, okay. You know what I mean? Because I never thought about this before. Like, Jesus was a man though. I'm like, okay, alright, yeah. And then he was like to me, did he not have to sleep like we sleep, eat like we eat? Was he not a baby at once? And I was just like, you know what, like, yeah, like, and he was like, and then he just said to me, yeah, like, we don't worship a man.
Probably thinking, no, wow, this is deep.
Yeah. Literally, at the time, I was just like, this is different, man. And I remember he didn't go into anything else after that. He just left it at that. He just said, we don't worship Jesus. Not he's a man. Obviously, he said he's a prophet. I believe in him, and we love him as well. We hold him to a high standard, but we only worship Allah. And then I was like to him, okay. And then he just left it at that. And then I remember he said to me, but you just do your own research. He's like, you just go off, look at things yourself, and any questions come and ask me. And then I remember he gave me at the time Speaker's Corner.
Okay.
Yeah, so he put me on Speaker's Corner. You know, just watch some videos between the Christians and the Muslims and this.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember literally the next day, that's all I was doing. I started going to my lessons. I was literally. So let's.
How deep into this was it? Were you in uni? Like, was it your first?
I just started uni.
First month.
So literally, let's say for example, I started uni this September, right?
Yeah.
And by the end of September, that's literally what happened. I'd stopped going. I'd stopped all those stuff. And I just watched Speaker's Corner 24/7. Nothing else. I stopped going to my lessons, and that was it.
What were you studying at the time in uni?
Computer science.
Computer science. Okay.
Computer science. So stopped going to my lessons every day. And I remember I had course mates as well, right? Who I'd meet up with, and they're gonna go to study in the library, and I'd go with them to the library, and they're studying computer science, and I watch people literally just like I watch people and they do computer science. So I just watch a lot of Shanti. And
so obviously you found a lot of interest into it. Obviously, at the time.
Yeah, a lot of interest. Yeah.
So you came across the brother Shamsi then,
and then I was just watching him having these debates, and it was a thing where, for example, a lot of Christians would bring their things to Shamsi, whether it's about Christianity or it's about Islam, and majority of the time Shamsi would just explain it. Yeah. Just say this what this means, this what this means, and stuff like that. And I was just thought like the clarity that Islam had compared to Christianity, I said there's no match. Like it was so clear like what he was saying, and I felt like with what the Christians were bringing, it was a lot of 360s. Like there was no clear cut answers. There was a lot of you know. Yeah. And I like the clarity. And then I remember, I think it was maybe not even 5 months, because I remember I said to my mum, I'm looking into Islam.
But did you go back to him?
To my friend.
Yeah.
Not really, you know.
You didn't?
Yeah, most everything I just speakers corner, and any little Google stuff I found on Google.
Okay.
But his most thing was like just look for yourself. And if I had questions, ask him. But I had a few questions, but it was more like history stuff. So like the history of the Muslims and like certain places that they had conquered. And I remember at the time there was something between the Muslims and the Jews. I remember he was explaining to me like basically it's not true. Like there was countless times that the Muslims had saved the Jews in the past from persecution from Christians and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, subhanAllah, like, look at all these stuff that have been cleared up, if that makes sense. Because I didn't say I had any misconceptions.
Yeah.
I was like a baby when it came to Islam. Like, I didn't have any previous thoughts that I had to kind of like raise.
Yeah.
I'll just take everything as it was. And I remember I said to my mum that I looked for a Muslim, and she was kind of shocked because the way I was growing up, no one would expect me to go down a religious path. Not to say I had like a crazy life,
Yeah.
but it was a complete 180 from me going this way to it was a shock. It was a very big shock. My brother said it as well. Like he didn't expect it from me. Like I never had religious talks. Like as much as we came from a strict household, there was still lenience in the way the stuff that I was able to do and stuff. So like the way I used to carry myself and talk about certain things, like it was a big shock to them because I was quick as well. Like one day I said, I'm looking into Islam, and then maybe like 4 months later I became Muslim. Like, I didn't even tell them I was become Muslim. I just became Muslim, and then I told them I was Muslim, and it was a big shock for them. So at the end of September, I was looking into the religion, and about January the 16th, I became Muslim.
But you know, during that period, obviously, as you're looking into Islam, was there anything that kind of, you know, you thought, okay, maybe this is not for me, maybe this can be difficult in terms of, obviously, you know, certain things that as a Muslim you're supposed to be practicing. So did you like have a history of listening to music, or you into anything else that you thought, like any sort of desires that you thought you'd have to sacrifice and give up?
Yeah,
you kind of struggled.
100%. Obviously, I was never someone that done like drugs and drinking and stuff.
Yeah.
That was never me. Like my family.
Obviously, you came from us.
Yeah. But when it came to like other stuff like music or girls and stuff, that was obviously like, I wouldn't say it was a big thing. It wasn't something like, for example, I was saying so I'm gonna struggle a lot. But it was one of those things that was a
challenge.
Yeah, it was a challenge.
Yeah.
But
then how did you counteract it? What was the solution? Like, was this a brother that came to you? Was it him? Was it someone that advised you how you go about it? Or how did you?
To be fair, I feel like my beginning journey, I was very solo dolo. Very, 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 very. I didn't have that much Muslim brothers around me. Like besides the one brother.
In uni.
Yeah, uni, yeah. So besides him, I didn't have, like, for example, like any real support or any like real guidance on how to do things. It was mostly just me just trying to do things by myself. Yeah. So in regards to like things like that, it was just like I knew it was wrong.
Yeah.
And that was it. That was my only thing to stop me from doing things. Just me just thinking, this is just wrong.
Just leave it off.
Yeah. That was the only sort of thing I had.
So walk us through, like, in detail, how did it actually happen? You've told your mother you're interested in Islam, but what are the steps that you took? Was it just after you're watching Speaker's Corner, you carried that on until you became Muslim?
Yeah, so I was watching Speaker's Corner a lot. The brother gave me a book.
That same brother and you?
Yeah, he gave me a book. He gave me.
Are you living in?
Yeah, I was living in the uni accommodation.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember. I don't know. I don't think he gave me Quran, but he gave me a book. I can't remember the book's name, but I still have it at home as well. But it's basically, it takes a bunch of different ayats from the Quran and it basically explains them. And I think it's a book on etiquettes. So it just explains how that Muslims should behave. So he gave me that book, and
Ni'mal akh, may Allah bless it.
I mean, but so yeah, he gave me that book. I started to read it, but maybe one or two pages, and I put the book down. But yeah, I remember. I think it was maybe 2 months into looking into Islam.
How are you looking into Islam?
Just Speaker's Corner.
Speaker's Corner.
Yeah, I just watch videos.
Okay.
Like I think I only done maybe 2 Google searches in the whole time, and the first one was about if someone could become a Jew, because I used to hear a lot that you can't become Jew, you have to be born one. So I think that was one Google search I done, and then another Google search
about Islam, the same thing.
I didn't think the same thing. No, I just wanted to know if just basically if someone could become a Jew. because he told me to look into religion yourself.
Oh, so you're looking into different religions?
Yeah, so I was looking
okay.
into Christianity, and I wanted to know if you can actually become a Jew, or if you have to be born into it. And the other second Google search I done, I remember as well, was about sin, because that was a big thing as well. I remember I wanted to know if Christianity believed in being born into sin, and like what's their views on like little children and you know what I mean? Because the whole view of everyone inherits sin from Adam. So I wanted to. That was the only two Google searches I remember doing. But everything was Speaker's Corner. And I remember I think it was like 2 months in. I said,
So you must have done a lot of hours in Speaker's Corner.
A lot of hours. I remember there was days I would just be on my laptop, nothing else, just watching videos. Every new video I saw, just watch it. It's literally just that's all I was doing. And I remember, literally maybe 2 months in, I remember saying to myself, I think I'm going to become Muslim. I said it to myself, but I was just like, let me just keep looking, keep looking. And then, I know what triggered it, because I don't think I would have became Muslim straight away, or was clicked as soon as I did. I was speaking to the brother, and he said to me, if you die now, would you want to die Muslim? I was like, yeah. So what's stopping you? And I was just like, yeah, all right. He's like to me, don't. He's used an analogy. I think it's an analogy that I've seen Shams use a lot as well. Basically speaking about, like, if you have a cake, like, you don't eat the whole cake. You just take it bit by bit. You're gonna get sick.
Yeah.
So it's like, don't worry about all this other stuff right now. Like, just become Muslim and just take your time, type thing. You know. So he's like, I'll be here as well. I hope you have to pray.
Delaying it completely.
Yeah. So I was like to him, yeah, right. And I finished the next day I became Muslim. And then I remember when I told my family, obviously they all came.
How did you become Muslim?
So he took me to the ISOC Center, the Islamic community in the uni, yeah.
In the uni, yeah.
So it wasn't a masjid. It was just the prayer space, and he spoke to the guy who's the leader there, and he took me there maybe around 6-7 o'clock
PM.
Yeah, 6-7 o'clock PM.
Okay.
We sat down,
and
then it was me, the brother, the other brother, and I think another brother who was there at the time.
Okay.
So it was 4 of us, and he just sat down with me. He said, "Oh, you know what you're doing, yeah." And then I took my shahada.
How was your feeling? How did you feel?
I thought I might as well get teary a bit.
Oh.
But obviously, I'm not really a crier.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I don't really get. I get emotional, but I'm not someone who cries.
Yeah.
But my eyes got a little bit teary. And then I remember he just gave me a hug. My brother, the other brother gave me a hug. And then that was that. That's how I became Muslim. To be honest.
And how did you feel afterwards? Like, did you feel a sense of relief? Did you feel like there's something good?
Yeah. I felt like it was a new chapter in my life. I felt like everything I'd done before, that was that, and now I'm gonna start new. Yeah.
But then, obviously, once that happened, I'm guessing you obviously called home, called your mother, called family, right?
Yeah. So I called my mum, told my mum, and obviously my mum was shocked, and but the way my mum is very sensitive, right?
Yeah.
So like my mum was never gonna say anything to offend anyone. No matter what she thinks, she's not gonna say anything to offend anyone.
Okay.
And so she was shocked. But obviously she told like my dad, my sister, and everything and whatnot. I remember I was getting talks. My dad came with his talks about Islam this, Islam that.
Just on the phone?
Yeah, on the phone, yeah. And I remember every other day I'd get a call from him with something new. Every other day. So maybe I've been Muslim for a few weeks now. And I'd get a call from the Monday, then maybe the Wednesday, then the Sunday. Islam this, Islam that. Like, be careful with that.
Obviously he's concerned.
Yeah, he's concerned. Yeah.
Rightly so.
And then I got a talk from my sister as well, and even my brother-in-law, so my sister's husband.
Yeah.
A few stuff from like my aunts and stuff and whatnot. Just coming with their different talks and everything. Even I had a friend as well who came with some talks about terrorism and stuff. And I remember just being at to them, like, what's that got to do with me? I literally always my response, nothing to do with me, innit? Like, you're talking about all these different stuff, nothing to do with me, nothing to do with religion. I became Muslim, like, and I remember just saying to them, like, I remember my thing was to them, like, look at me, look at the life I lived. I was not someone who's religious. And I said, you should know the sort of person I am, that if Islam was something that was bad, I wouldn't become Muslim.
Okay.
That was the sort of thing I was saying to them, like, you know me as a person, innit? Like, if this was something that was bad, I wouldn't become Muslim. And then, obviously, they still had their concerns in their talks. That went on for a little bit. Even till now today, there's always still little things here and there. Especially my dad. My dad's very, with his different stuff. Every other day is something new. Like, I'll come in one day and I might see him watching something. I'll be like, why are you watching this? Like, because I'll see the stuff that he's watching, right? Yeah. Or he might come to me one day randomly and say, oh, what's this new religion and stuff or not. But besides that, like my mum's obviously it's been a few years now, so my mum's got accustomed to it. I think the main thing was because when I became Muslim, I tried to do too much at once.
Like everyone.
Yeah, I tried to do too much at once, and then
Did that put them off?
I wouldn't say put them off. I think it was just no. When I mean too much, I mean not necessarily in regards to them, but in regards to myself.
Yeah, in terms of worship, right?
Yeah, in terms of worship. Yeah. So I remember, for example, when I first became Muslim, I think it was the next day after becoming Muslim, I learned the Fatiha. The next day, I memorized it, but obviously not with Tajweed, right? I just by myself. Yeah, I watched a video on YouTube. And the guy he was just saying it slowly, and I just kept repeating after him. And then I started praying my 5 daily salah and everything. But obviously, what happened was I felt like because I went into it so quick, and obviously I'm Muslim now. After my 5 daily salah, there's no excuse. But obviously, I got to a point where obviously I started to slip. And
how far are we talking?
yeah, I'll probably say my first year of being a Muslim, because I was at uni for 2 years.
Okay.
So my first year I became Muslim, and then that first year I'll probably say for a few months I was really serious, and then I fell off completely, but not completely in a sense where I went back to my old ways. Yeah. But in a sense where I still stayed away from those stuff. Yeah. But I wasn't strict to my practice. So I still wasn't listening to music or going back to like speaking and
how did that take you to stop that actually when you became Muslim? How did you stop it? Practical steps. Like what did you do? Just delete all the tunes? So was it friendship that you had to cut off?
I never downloaded music. Okay. So everything was on YouTube. Okay. Everything was YouTube for me. Obviously if I heard music I never turn it off, I'd let it play. Yeah. But I never went and searched for music. Of course. I never went and searched for music. Friendship group wise, because I was at uni, I was away from a lot of my friends back in London. And then the only actual people in my circle, they were Muslims. Right? So as much as a collective we weren't that practicing, there was obviously certain stuff that was a no good, right? Yeah. So that obviously helped me as well. And I'll say for that year, because what happened was for that year I'll probably say I fell off in that sense. Not going back to those sort of things, but just not practicing as much and whatnot. And then it was in my second year. I remember this is what switched for me, which made me basically get back to my deen and start taking it very seriously. I remember me and the brother, the one who introduced me to Islam, we were sitting in his room one night because in our second year we lived together. It was me, him, 2 other brothers, both called Ahmed. One was Sudanese, one was Somali, and 2 non-Muslims. We 6 of us shared a place together. In room? No, it was a big house in our second year. We each had our own room. There was 3 bathrooms. Yeah. So it was very spacious, right? Yeah. And I remember we were sitting in his room one night, and he was basically just talking to me about the deen and stuff. He was like to me, yeah, you gotta pray, we gotta practice, we gotta do better, we gotta try and basically do better. And the way my mindset is, and I even have brothers now that I tell back in my local area, because obviously everyone's different in regards to what motivates them to practice. Yeah. And I remember me, I was always someone who was like, I never really worked for a reward. Yeah. I was always someone that wanted to do things just to avoid punishment. Since young. Like, it was nice to have my parents proud of me, but I'd rather let me not do this so I don't get any form of punishment from them. You know what I mean? So that was always my mindset, right? So I remember once we were sitting down and he was just talking to me about the punishment, the hellfire. He was just like to me, how these different sins and the punishment that Allah will basically give to certain people and stuff. And I remember he said, I think the one punishment that stuck with me, which he was speaking about, was about basically your skin being burnt and then Allah replacing the skin with new skin so that you can feel the flame of the fire, right? Yeah. And I remember him saying that to me. I just remember just looking at him like, yeah, that's it. Like, I'm back. Literally, I was like, I'm back. And I remember literally that same day, from that salah, and the next day, I always pray salah. So till then, because that would have been 2020. Either 2020 or 2021 we had that conversation. One of those years. Either been early 2020 or late 2020, or early 2021 we had that conversation. Mm. But it's most likely 2020 because I ended up dropping out of uni. I remember after that I never missed a salah again. Even till today I've never missed a salah. The only time I'd missed a salah I overslept. And I remember I was like to him, yeah. After when she spoke to me like that, always like, yeah, that's me. I'm not going through that. That's not.
I'd rather avoid that.
Yeah,
It's amazing to hear. SubhanAllah. Just you've been Muslim for what? How many years has it been now?
4 years.
4 years. So just for you to say that, it's amazing. It's a reminder for everyone listening, Muslim as well. You know, born into Muslim families, to not take advantage of, not take advantage, but take it for granted, I should say. Because a lot of times you see that Muslims take it for granted, being born into Muslim households and what have you. When you find that someone accepts Islam, that they take being more seriously. Not all the time, but you find a lot of times it's the case. So you saying that as well, subhanAllah, it's almost as if it's a reminder for all of us as Muslims, whether you're a Revert or you're a Muslim, to always be ambassadors of Islam. It just took that brother just to just give you da'wah where he didn't even make an effort. Like you said, he just spoke about Isa, Jesus, and telling you basic things and being just, you know, a good Muslim enough for you to be like, okay, I want to take this religion and become Muslim for sure.
100%. I think that one of the reasons probably why it's so easy for me to accept Islam as well, I think, subhanAllah, like a lot of the stuff that maybe you see on like the news and the propaganda that they spread about Islam, like I just sheltered from it. I just never took any heed to looking at it or believing anything that was said. So I feel like that's when it came to me and the brother and saying stuff to me. I never had any of those thoughts because my friends did. The same friends that I used to hang around with, they had those sort of thoughts. My family, some of my family did. People around me had these thoughts.
You do.
I never.
So sorry, you were saying about me telling you about the fire at your back.
Oh yeah. So I was like, yeah, I'm back. I'm never missing my salah again. I'm gonna start doing extra, making sure I'm more strict. And so then what happened was, I think literally after that, maybe a few months went past, and I was on TikTok. And then these times I still don't know that much. I'll just make sure I was praying. That was one thing I made sure I done. I made sure I learned the salah properly, and I was praying. And then I remember I came across TikTok, and I was speaking about riba, and I was speaking about student loans, and I shouldn't be taking out student loans and that stuff and whatnot. And I remember I saw the video and I was watching, and I was like, what's this? I didn't know what it was at the time, innit? So I remember I done some research, and at the time I remember seeing a few different Islamic speakers saying that it's halal and that you can take out you can take out student loans and go to uni and stuff. But then I remember I seen other Islamic speakers saying no, like this is haram. You can't take out student loans and riba. And obviously using the verse of Allah Azza generally speaks about going to war if you deal in usury and stuff. And I remember just thinking, like this is wrong, innit? Like I just didn't want to do it anymore. So then I remember I called my mum and I'm dropping out uni. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I was like, I'm dropping out. Like, obviously they're expecting like a proper reason now. They said to them, because my religion, I don't want to take out student loan again. But they were confused. They didn't understand what I was talking about. They couldn't understand. They were like, interest, like this is a normal type thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I should explain to them how, like basically that interest, like basically like a form of like pressure to people, and how it's not something like that you're meant to, that you should deal with. And I was like to him, like, student loans, it's a loan, it's a loan, it's a lump sum of money. I have to pay back interest on it. I should explain to like, if you're borrowing some money, you borrow them the money, and then they pay you back the exact same amount. Type thing. And I explained to her, it's not just money, but things in general. Like you don't try and gain from like borrowing stuff to people. And I try. Now she understands it more because it's been years now of her knowing that, for example, certain things I don't do because of interest stuff. That she understands it more now. But at the time, her and my pops,
it was fresh, right?
Yeah.
It was fresh.
They were just like, "What are you talking about?" And then, but I was like, "Yeah, I'm dropping out. That's that. You're gonna see me soon. Next week, I'm gonna be home." And then I remember.
Didn't that cause any sort of rift or conflict between you?
I think not my mum. My mum's very much like, if you think what you're doing, like, to be fair, her and my dad are both similar in a sense where it's like, it's your life. Like, as long as you're not doing.
كشوق الليالي لضوء القمر كعشق اليبابي لقطر المطار.
Assalamu alaikum. It's the moment you've all been waiting for. MSL presents to you MSL Tours. We're bringing you to the city of Kuwait, this beautiful, blessed land where you can have a lifetime experience. Don't let this opportunity go by where you haven't booked your tickets. What are you waiting for? MSL is bringing you here, and we're gonna have so much fun. Assalamu alaikum. See you when you get here.
وفي راحتنا الضياء بقاء وحبا لكل البشر.
Decide to come with MSL, we can take you to beautiful experiences where you can enjoy the beauty of the creation of Allah Azza wa Jalla. If you decide to come with MSL, you will enjoy all of this. Look at the beauty, look at that. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Listen, what are you waiting for? There's no need to wait, okay? Reach out to us, book your slot, because we're waiting for you right here to welcome you all. Assalamu alaikum.
Anything crazy and anything bad and you get in trouble and hurting people, or anything that I guess that they deem too wrong as well, that like it's your life. Especially because when I became Muslim, my mum was like, not doing anything wrong, not hurting people, not doing anything bad. My dad was on a more of a flex where he was more like, listen, on the day of judgment, we're gonna see who's correct. That's basically what he said to me. Like, we're gonna see who's right. Like, when we all die, we're gonna see how I'm right and you're right, type thing. And then so he was like to me, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Obviously, my dad and he still gave me talks, even though he was like, if that's what you want to do, but he'd be like, sometimes you say it to me, sometimes I say it to my mum, and then obviously my mum might get over it, so come back to me and say whatnot and stuff. But yeah, that was mainly it. So I remember I was saying to a few of the brothers as well, that were in uni, because I went to them when I saw that TikTok post, I went to them straight away as well. Speak to them about it as well. And I was saying to me as well, like, I'll ask you, it's fine, man. Like, you can like, and obviously show me some of the speakers that said it was permissible and stuff. But me, I was just like, nah, man. Yeah, I was just like, yeah, man, it's not me. And I dropped out. I remember I spoke to my course leader. I said, yeah, I'm not. It's not for me. Innit? I didn't tell them the reasons why. Because my whole thing was like, I didn't want people just questioning me and be so confused and stuff. So I just said to me, it's not for me. I just want to drop out. And then I left the uni 2020, yeah.
What did you do?
So then after the uni, I took some time out. I was working. I was doing, this is COVID time, right? So I was doing COVID track and trace.
Okay.
So I've done that for maybe 3 months, and then I remember I started applying to apprenticeships. Yeah, I started applying to apprenticeships at IT. I think I applied to like 4, and the first one never got back to me. The second 2 I applied to got back to me. Had my interviews, didn't go so well, and then the 4th one interview smashed it. And then within a week, I got the apprenticeship, and I think I started the apprenticeship 2022. So 2022 up to 2023. Yeah. So I only recently stopped the apprenticeship. I think last year September.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were you studying? What was the apprenticeship?
It was an IT. So it was.
The reason I asked is because I did apprenticeship myself back in the day.
It was what was it? Azure Cloud Support Specialist. It was basically at beginner level. Like the apprenticeship equivalent was to like a A level.
Okay. That's actually really good, man.
Yeah.
Obviously, I remember those times in COVID they were hiring a lot of people, right? And there was a high demand of people in IT. So then eventually, were you successful? Did you get a job afterwards?
So what happened was that September came, and my plan was to leave the workplace. Either get a new job, because the work environment wasn't the greatest. So I was either gonna get a new job, or I was like, what I'm doing now is just to take a break and try to get more serious with seeking knowledge. Yeah. But even saying that now, subhanAllah, just reminds me, I think what started me in like to even get more serious with my deen, it was the Ramadan of 2022, 2021. It was one of those years, and I remember I was watching the speaker Imran. Yeah, I was watching one of his videos. Like, there's a Ramadan specials, and I remember just speaking and people were giving us stories and stuff, and speaking about seeking knowledge. And I remember just thinking, yeah, I need to do this. Like, because at this point now I'm still just praying. I don't know anything. I don't know Arabic. I don't know anything. I've never studied anything.
So you never gone lessons?
Never gone to a lesson, not once. So this was like, I think it was 2022. So I remember he was advertising a course, the Muslim Survival Guide. Yeah. So I signed up to that during the Ramadan, and then I think it started in September to August. Yeah. And then so that was the 2022, and that was like my first ever formal studying for the deen.
For the deen.
Yeah.
How did you find out?
It was good. It was good. It was very good. We went through went through like Tawheed, went through Aqidah, went through.
So that's the first time ever for you.
First time, never done anything like this before. Fiqh, Hadith, went through everything, manners as well.
And then obviously, what did you do after that?
So after that was finished, I wasn't consistent with that. So I was very consistent at the start, but I'll probably say, let's say we started in August, by like the next year, January, I wasn't consistent going to the class because there were live classes, but they were recorded.
Okay.
So then eventually I stopped going to live classes and I just watched the recordings and stuff and go through my own time. Because with the apprenticeship, when I was coming home and having to do the apprenticeship work, I just usually get very tired. I just want to go sleep.
So it's
yeah, and then so then I was doing that, and then I picked up Arabic. The same time I picked up Arabic as well with the institute, the Ijada Institute. So I started those at the same time.
Arabic and then
Yeah, I started at the same time, and subhanallah, I started saying to myself, okay, I want to memorize Quran.
Yeah.
But I never took any proper steps to like find a teacher.
Yeah.
So what I used to do, I used to go on YouTube, and there's a sheikh I used to listen to. I can't remember his name, but he's one of the famous ones.
Yeah.
Like one of the most well-known ones.
Yeah.
And I used to listen to his a lot on repeat and try to memorize it that way and like replicate what he was saying and stuff. But it wasn't until I got my teacher, my Quran teacher, which is very recently. I got my teacher maybe 2-3 months ago.
Okay.
That he was correcting a lot of the mistakes I was making.
That you had picked up.
Yeah, that I picked up. Yeah. And I remember even a brother I'd met once, he was telling me the same thing. He was like, you have to get a teacher. You have to get a teacher. You can't try and memorize, so you have to get a teacher.
Yeah, Quran.
Yeah, you have to. And obviously having a teacher, I realized, subhanAllah, that things that I didn't, like, I'm not even hearing myself, he's hearing.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
That's
little
Quran.
little things he's saying, no, not like this, he's saying, later, this. And I'm like, oh, like these little things. So, yeah, so then that's literally been it. I started the Arabic then, the 2022 of that. I wasn't consistent with that either. And then it was a point where I was just focusing on my apprenticeship. Then it wasn't until the September when I finished my apprenticeship, I said to myself, okay, now it's done.
It's 2023.
Yeah, 2023 I finished it, in September. And then now that's myself, okay, now I've finished this, let me just focus on the deen. Let me just focus on...
Isn't it a thing where when you do apprenticeship, they give you a job straight away? Or did you decide to take a gap and tell them you don't want it?
So the thing was with my apprenticeship, there was 4 of us. And then it was like, my department was very, how do I explain it? It wasn't like the best well managed.
Okay.
So it was kind of known, for example, that they'll probably offer you guys jobs because obviously based on like the quality of the people working there and like previous apprentices and stuff, to say you'll get a job and whatnot. But then obviously with my apprenticeship, I got towards the end of my apprenticeship, I got into a few problems with the manager. And see, the thing is with me, the sort of personality I have is that obviously I'm not sounding disrespectful and stuff, but it's like if you're gonna act a certain way towards me, I'm not just gonna basically sit back.
Yeah.
And that's basically what my manager was doing, right?
Yeah.
They'll act in a certain type of way towards me. And to even other people as well, they can used to take it.
Yeah.
But when it came to me, I said, that's not me, and I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let someone just maybe try and butcher my name or speak to me in a certain type of way. So maybe I had not even a month left of my apprenticeship. And literally I got into confrontation with my manager about some things that happened at work. And I basically said, just kind of pulled them out on some of the stuff that they were doing.
Yeah.
Because they tried to pull me up and I said, listen, what you're doing this is wrong. You're basically lying and stuff and whatnot. And then, literally, but it was kind of known because I had a few Muslims at my workplace. Like, I had quite a good bit of Muslims at my workplace that would speak to and stuff about the deen, about what I wanted to do, that I wanted to memorize Quran, learn Arabic and whatnot. And I used to get advice from a few of them about maybe going to Egypt and stuff like that. I had a brother, he was speaking about how he went to like Somalia and he spent time there and he said how he'd also been in Egypt before as well. So I was speaking about these sort of things. And I was just like, I think September I'm just going to leave. I'm just going to try and see if I can seek knowledge, just save up some money from the job and just leave and go to Egypt. That was my original plan, to go to Egypt after September. So when September came and I had the confrontation, everyone said to me, you're not going to keep it, right? But obviously I was like, I'm going to go to Egypt anyway, so it doesn't really matter type thing.
Yeah.
So I remember,
So you prepared for it.
yeah, you should prepare because everyone said to me, be on best behavior on it, just to make sure they give me the job, don't have any little hiccups and stuff. But then, because I knew I was leaving, I said I'm not gonna let the manager do me like this because I'm leaving, innit? So I'm not gonna just bite my lip, get the job, and I said no.
You're gonna leave with honor.
yeah. So that happened, and then I think the last week I was meant to work, they told me not to come back in. I had my meeting over like a Zoom call. I done all my formalities that way. And then September happened. That's when I started focusing on the Arabic. That's when I started focusing on like the Islamic studies and stuff. And I was consistent with that up until I've been consistent with it to be honest up until now. But that was 2023.
Yeah.
So I've been consistent with that. And then I remember always saying to people, I want to do Umrah.
Yeah.
But I never all these things. I never signed up to any one of them. I never signed up to any trips and stuff. And I got the listen. I wanted to go to Egypt, but I never went. And I was always delaying it.
Procrastinating.
Yeah, literally procrastinating. Yeah. And then the time came that I saw the post for the trip
How did you come across it?
on Instagram.
Okay.
When I was on Instagram, I was just scrolling, and I saw it, and I said, you know what, I'm doing it. I'm just gonna do it because what am I waiting for? So I just signed up straight away.
Yeah.
And then
I remember actually when you came to the trip, you said to me you've never actually done Umrah before.
Yeah.
You're one of the brothers that never done Umrah before, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a while. So I just signed up to the trip, and then that's how I got through coming on that trip. That's how I was able to meet the Quran teacher as well, because then the brother Ahmed on the trip,
Yeah,
he gave me the teacher's number. I would like that teacher, man. Allah bless him. He's proper nice. He's proper like, you know, like loving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Proper.
Like,
proper
he cares.
Yeah, he cares a lot. Yeah, he makes sure like everything I'm doing is on point. And like, you know, he smiles and has jokes and stuff and whatnot. So he's a very lovely teacher as well. So yeah, man.
How was that experience, Akhi, for Umrah?
I can't even explain it. I remember going back home and my father asked me. They said, "There's
Your
no
father?
No, my whole family was asking.
Oh, your family, okay.
I was just saying that there's no words for it. Like, it's hard to put into words. Like, you know, you're going to this place to see just to worship Allah. It's very hard to describe the feeling you get.
It's kind of like you remind me of the same thing that I experienced, and I told someone after they asked me how was it going doing it for the first time. Same thing. I said to them, "You're never going to know until you come yourself."
Yeah. You have to come yourself.
Yeah.
It's something you can't put into words. It's a feeling you can't put into words. The feeling, like, because even just entering the area, just entering Medina and Mecca, you feel different. Because I remember I was on the plane and I was leaving and I was like, yeah, something this was wrong. Because, you know what I mean?
Oh, you leave it.
Yeah, I'm leaving to come back to the UK.
Yeah.
I was like, this is cool. It's not for right, man. SubhanAllah. But yeah, man.
I remember you told me that you actually wanted to come out and live there, innit?
Yeah. I would just pack my bags and live on the streets, obviously.
Just as long as you're there, yeah?
As long as I'm there.
Yeah, SubhanAllah. It's true, man. But so in terms of obviously, like, looking back now at your journey to Islam and how you became Muslim, would you say that there's anything you can give advice to all those that are thinking, or you know, they just need that push, like all those listening, all the viewers listening? Like, what would you say? Because a lot of times you find that many Muslims out there, it's like almost as if you put it beyond yourself, especially if you don't really have family that are Muslim. Just live your life, so you don't really see the importance of someone becoming a Muslim. Of course, as long as many would want to get that reward, but as you're living your life, you're Muslim, just living your life. You've got your family, but now obviously you know how it is. You've got kind of both sides. You've seen how it is to be a non-Muslim. Now Allah guided you, subhanAllah, to Islam, and that's a blessing from Allah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. One that I think everyone should thank. Just being a Muslim is a blessing. It means Allah has just selected you. And imagine, akhi, you've been selected. And the Prophet Prophet's uncle, Abu Talib, wasn't selected to be a Muslim. And he's the one that aided Islam in the beginning after Allah, by aiding his nephew. So what would you give advice to those that are thinking on edge, in doubt about becoming Muslim?
I think the main thing, to be honest, is be intention. I think a big thing is, I think just like realizing that your time here is very short. It's very, very short. And I always think about it. I always tell some of the brothers that I know as well, that I can't remember who I heard it from, but your time spent in your grave is much, much longer than any time you're gonna spend standing on this earth. You know, you're gonna spend, if you're fortunate enough, you may live till 90 or 80. And if you're not, you might maybe tomorrow or maybe next week. And I said, I know once you're gone, the rest of your time will be in your grave. How much people do you know that's been in their grave millions of years, thousands of years? That's where your abode is. It's not here. And I remember just always telling them, like, you know, you have to think of these sort of things, like, you know, if you think of your intention, you think, why do you want to become Muslim? You know, I think maybe, because like, for example, I've seen a lot of people that they become Muslim, but maybe they become it because of, not necessarily because of worshiping Allah, but because maybe that's, for example, how that people have treated them, right? People have treated them, what they've seen as like brotherhood and stuff. And then because of that, if they get treated a bad way, they end up leaving. So I think like one of the main things is just like remembering why someone becomes Muslim. I think that helps keep you firm as well, because like, for example, myself, I didn't have any real support, just me by myself, and me just making sure I was sticking to what I was doing myself. And even to now, I didn't. The brothers I know now, I only know them now because I moved to Kent, and I didn't move to Kent until 2023. So before 2023, I still didn't have any support.
Yeah.
It's only until now that I moved to Kent.
And I think that's important. So actually, just to mention all of those that are in charge of Masajid and what have you, to reach out to all those, you know, the people in the community in terms of Islam, because many times people become Muslim. I'm not sure if you had a message close to you, but maybe they'll go to the message that there's not a lot of lessons for the readers. And I think that's key. Like, if I had a message in my area, I think that was going to be the main thing that I'll concentrate on in terms of the people those that give da'wah, to concentrate on giving lessons for just Muslims and kind of creating a brotherhood, like a circle, social media groups. Like, it's important because it's like where you Deptford, right? In that area, you've got a masjid there, right? So I think that masjid in itself, I'm not sure if they do or not, but if they don't, they should have like circles just for revert brothers, revert sisters as well, like gatherings every month, even if just every month, just to show that love, to know that, okay, this is your safe haven as you become, because I think, alhamdulillah, you had it easy. Not easy, but meaning, hearing your story, your parents weren't as harsh, you didn't get kicked out. I know brothers actually got kicked out, sisters kicked out, you know?
See that a lot, man.
Do you get it? And it's like, where they're going to go? They go to the masjid's too busy, or masjid's corrupt, or, you know, all the stories that you hear. So really and truly, the masajid should really have like places for these reverts. I think that's key.
It is.
Sorry, what were we saying, Akhi?
Well, no, yeah, that's probably the main thing. Just the intention. I think the intention. Just remember why you become Muslim in the first place, and remember like who the reward is with. You know, and I think if you just remember that, I remember that, you know, at the end of the day, once we're all gonna die, you know, me, my mum, my dad, you know, when you have kids, and then you alone are gonna get judged. So I think if you just stick to that and remember that, I think it makes things a lot easier. But and it can be hard, doesn't it? Because obviously, you know, you go through this journey, you experience things as you experience them.
Yeah.
And you all have emotions and stuff. But I think just remembering that it's all temporary, and eventually, and what's waiting for you is better. You know.
100%.
If you just stick to that, I think it's a lot easier.
100%. يوم يفر المرء من أخيه وأمه وأبيه وصاحبته وبنيه. The day when people flee from their parents, from their loved ones, from their children. It's a statement. Akhi, also an question. Since you've been Muslim now, how has it been with regards to your parents, your family, your close family? I remember you told me as well as a story with you and your uncle. We had a discussion, you had a run-in with your uncle about Islam. Did that?
No, uncle, no, I think probably most likely my dad.
So you never had any discussions about your uncle asking you, pushing you about Islam, since you're the one in Jamaica, the one as a pastor?
No, I don't think so.
So you've never ever had a discussion with him?
I think the most I've had with him, like when I first became Muslim.
That's what I mean, yeah.
When I first became Muslim, the first time you saw me, he came to the UK again for one of his like church things. He came to the UK.
Conference of knowledge. So he's coming to spread the Christianity.
Yeah, coming to spread Christianity. And he saw me in a phobe.
Okay.
But I was a little bit nervous because I didn't know how I was going to take it. I just have no idea, because when I came Muslim, I didn't tell anyone. Like my mum maybe told people, I personally I didn't go and tell I'm Muslim. I remember I came out with my phobe. I was like, oh, yeah, how Uncle Leon? I remember I picked up his suitcase. I didn't say too much. I picked up his suitcase, kind of yeah. And then I don't know if he said, asked my mum, like, what's on wearing? And I think my mum told my Muslim on the thing. And I remember, I came downstairs, like, say hi again after I dropped off his suitcase and stuff. But it was just a quick like conversation. We no longer than 5 minutes. You just said to a Muslim, and then maybe said 1 or 2 questions, and then that was it. Like, he was very, how do I explain it? Very just like just, you know, you do you type thing.
So he didn't really kind of like put you on edge or try to judge you or try to test your Islam.
Every single interaction I've had in regards to like someone trying to test me and is my dad. My dad's the one who comes with all sorts of talks. Like, it gets heated sometimes as well. All sorts, yeah.
But have you ever had tried to give them that, or your parents or your siblings?
Yeah. I would say my brother the most.
Okay.
My brother, easily, I speak to him the most about religion and about like what he's doing with his life and you know, talks about Islam. And then I process it off my brother, my mum. So I speak to my mum and my brother the most in that regards, teaching them Islam, what Islam is. And then my dad, it's not even really teaching, it's arguments. It's just pure arguments. Because how do I explain it? So my brother, I might see my brother down. I'm like, my brother, like, what are you doing, man? Like, come talk to me, man. Like, come, let's talk. Let's have a little talk. And I speak to him about stuff. Maybe he might say to me some stuff like, yeah. So sometimes I would sit him down. I'd be like, oh, like, come talk to me for a sec. Yeah. And I'd just speak to him about the religion, try and get him to see different things from different perspective. Because I'd say my brother is very used to the word. Is it skeptical?
Yeah.
Like, he questions everything. Everything questions. Which I said to him, there's nothing wrong with that. But I said, you get to a point where, you know, all that, you question absolutely everything in life. You're always going to find yourself in like a state of like feeling like you don't know things, and you know, just. So I said to him, I'm not saying you shouldn't question things, of course question things and you get answers. But I said, like, question the right things, you know? Yeah. Like, if I'm bringing religion to you, like, think about religion, question religion, and, like, dive into that aspect of things, you know what I mean? Because I think my brother didn't tell me before when he was at uni how much years ago that there was a time when someone brought Islam to him, but he didn't get the opportunity to I guess, like, question things, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
So someone brought the deen to him, but he didn't really get to question anything.
He just doubted it.
I wouldn't say the word is doubt. I think my brother is very, very, like, how do I explain it? Like, my brother believes in God.
Okay.
And he believes in God. He believes someone's created this universe. But, you know, he has that sort of mindset. Like, how do you know which religion is true? There's so much different religions. How do you know which? You know what I mean? That's the sort of, like,
mindset he has.
Mindset he has, isn't it? And I was explaining to him, you know, at the end of the day, either one's right or none's right.
Yeah.
So I said, I was like, you know, you owe it to yourself to kind of, you know, search these things type thing.
Research.
Yeah. Like, you know, if you claim that as someone that you love yourself, you care about yourself, you care about your parents, and you care about the stuff that you do in life. I said, well, what's more important is your hereafter, right? So I said, you should spend more time focusing on something which is eternal, you know?
That's true.
And then my mum's, I bring the same sort of talks about my mum. I'm less, because my brother could be more, you know what I mean? But my mum, I'm a little more gentle with her, and I just try and say to my mum, like, you know, when you get 10 minutes out of your day, maybe try and, like, just think about. I don't even necessarily use the word religion, but I just say, like, think about God. Like, you know, do you really think, for example, God's a man and you worship a man? And just reflect sometime. Get 10 minutes to yourself. You can come in and speak to me about stuff. Blah, 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 blah. My mum's always like, yeah, no, you're right. I'm gonna this and that. And even sometimes I speak to stuff with regards to the deen, and she agrees with me in certain aspects. But my mum's very much like, I wouldn't say set in her ways. I don't think that's the right word. But, you know, my mum just focuses very much on what she's doing at that moment. You know what I mean? She doesn't really spend time thinking on those sort of things, because right now,
it's too far off.
Yeah. She thinks it's so far away, so she always just focuses on, like, that now, especially because of like, my niece and nephews. She basically looks after them a lot, innit? So that's what she does a lot, and because she finds so much pride and joy in it, she just likes focusing on just those sort of things at the moment, just looking after her grandkids and stuff. So when I bring her those sort of talk, she hears it, but, you know, she just focuses on what she
prioritizes.
Yeah.
Allah guide all of them to Islam.
You know what I mean? But then obviously my dad now, whole different ballgame. Will come to me one day. Oh, what's this in religion? X, Y, and Z. Just randomly, and we'll have a discussion, and I'll say to him, "Oh, Dad, you know, you're not really how do I explain it? Like, like you're hearing things, and you're just taking it as fact, and you're coming to try and basically say to me, like, this is what religion says." I said, "Always, my dad, if you want to learn, then you can come and ask me questions. I'm not saying I've answered everything, but there's certain things that I could definitely answer that if you just come and just ask me and stuff and whatnot, or I can point you in the right direction." But then again, or randomly, he might come to me just again with his phone and like a video on his phone. Like, look at this. What's this? And da, 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 da. Could be anything. Could be some form of random propaganda you see online will come to you with. It could be something that you see in some, like a Christian missionary that said something, because he might say something to me. I say to him, where'd you hear this from? He says something so absurd. And I say, like, where did you hear this from? He's like, from you guys. Who's you guys? What Muslims? Like, yeah, like, you didn't hear it from the Muslim. I said, you did not hear this from any Muslim. This is definitely like a Christian missionary. He said something about the religion. Yeah, like, he has no idea what he's speaking about. And my dad would always be like, oh, that's what you said. You know, anytime I bring something up, he always says it's wrong. And I said, but it's wrong. You know, like, if you brought to me something that's correct, I'll say it's correct. Because he always says to me, oh, as well, sometimes he say to me, you know, like, if he's speaking about like the Bible with me, and I always say to my dad, like, the Bible, I don't follow the Bible. So I'm not gonna come to you and speak about the Bible and say this is what the Bible. I don't believe in it. I don't follow it. I follow the Quran, right? But for example, he will say to me, anything, for example, anything that agrees with it, you guys will say it's not corrupted, and the stuff that you don't agree with, you say it's corrupted. And I say to him, but how does that not make sense? If I'm saying to you that for example, God has revealed things over all this period of time, and that the Quran now is superior over the previous scriptures, and it's basically a confirmation of what's come before. I said, why would I not say to you that the things that I disagree with are the things that have been changed by man? And he would just be asking me, like, you know what I mean? Just does that to me, like, that's what you say, like, well, I'll argue with it and stuff. But yeah, he's brought all sorts of talks to me. I think when I first became Muslim, that was, I wouldn't say the worst, but those were the most I got from, like, obviously everyone, like my sister, my brother-in-law, my dad, maybe aunts, a few aunts and stuff. And it was, they kept coming from an angle of just like violence. That makes sense, like terrorism and Muslims this and stuff and whatnot. Because like one thing my dad always say to me as well, even till today, he might say stuff to me about like how we live in like, you have to basically like progress, like religion and stuff. And I always say to him, like, okay, it's like, if you think of this in regards to your Bible and Christianity, why would you change it? Like, if this is something you claim that came from God, I was like, do you not believe that what God sent down is something that you should follow? That's something that's perfect, that's gonna suit all times and all people. Why are you gonna change it to suit? You know what I mean? I said to him, Alhamdulillah, when it comes to Islam, we don't change things. You know, Islam's set. It's been made in a way so that all groups of people, all civilizations, any period of time, you follow it, and if you follow it correctly, it's gonna make, you know, societies flourish and communities prosper and stuff. I said, if you're gonna say that you have to change these things, I said, obviously, in regards to Christianity, it can't be from God, because if it's come from God, this revelation is perfect. So why are you gonna change things and stuff? And you always come to me and stuff about in regards to certain laws and certain practices and stuff. And I just said to him, look, at the end of the day, it's not gonna change. You know, but obviously sometimes it's just got to change and stuff. And there's other little things and bits and bobs will come and say and stuff. And we have these arguments that might last 30 minutes and stuff. And my mum will leave the room and that. She don't want to be a part of it. She doesn't want to be a part of it. She just leave the room. But yeah,
but I mean, alhamdulillah, at least you've got understanding where you can defend what you're practicing. That's key, isn't it? That's where seeking knowledge comes in, isn't it? In terms of you being able to have knowledge of your religion, I think is the main thing.
Yeah, that's a very big thing. Very big thing, yeah.
So obviously, Habibi, I mean, it's been a pleasure having you on, you know, speaking to you about your journey and you accepting Islam. I think it's something that's key and crucial for those that have accepted Islam. When you speaking to you beforehand, you know, before we had discussion, you wanted to go out and seek knowledge. And I think I'll give that message to everyone watching that, you know, it's key for you as a new Muslim. One of the things that you need the most is to seek knowledge. Because when you have that Islam, and you've accepted it, it's beautiful, it's amazing, it's a blessing. But now when you have knowledge, top ton, it's cherry on the top, it's literally icing on the cake. Because now you've got knowledge where you can walk as a Muslim and you understand what you're doing at every moment, why you're supposed to be doing this, why you're not supposed to be doing that. And that's key, that's like light, you've paved that light for yourself. Whereas if you're just acting upon something, and like you said, for example, those that become Muslim for the sake of the fact that, you know, they see brotherhood, sisterhood, and when they get into a community or area of society, they get this point to turn back and they blame Islam. But Islam is perfect, the people are not perfect. That's one thing people have to understand. Islam is perfect. اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. Allah says in the Quran that they have what? Perfected Islam and complete Islam for you and are pleased with Islam being your religion. And there's no fault one can find in Islam. You find people trying to find it, but there's no fault. The issue is that the Muslims are not perfect. So as a new person or someone thinking about Islam, I think the moment, like you said, the intention is sincere and they want to get closer to their Lord and they want paradise and what have you,
then I think it becomes easy, because when they get into Islam, like yourself, you said you didn't really kind of give ears to all of those propagandas and all the stuff that you're hearing. It's like, for you, it's like you want to concentrate yourself, and that's key.
Yeah.
And I think that's really, really nice to hear. That's really nice to hear. Anything else, Akhi, before we conclude the discussion that you'd like to say to all the viewers?
No, yeah, I just think if, just intention, man. I think it's come back to intention, As long as you just perfect your intention in regards to all things that you're doing, and you're doing it for Allah's sake alone, I think you can go wrong. Yeah. You can go wrong at all.
May Allah bless you, أخي AbdulKhaliq. بارك الله فيك أخي مان. جزاك الله خير. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You're here on the website MSL, your trusted partner in realizing your dreams. Whether you want to study, make hijrah, need advice in marriage, need advice in general affairs related to your life, whatever it may be, alhamdulillah, MSL has over 10 years experience. 10 years experience, that's right, in supporting and guiding aspiring students that want to go seek knowledge abroad, or that are studying currently within the Islamic countries and they don't know how to go about with regards to that which they need to do, and the best journey to take. Alhamdulillah, we've got a dedicated team which will cater to all of your needs. We believe in making your dreams a reality by dedicating experts to give you advice, personalized assistance, and a wealth of resources. It doesn't matter what you need, MSL has it all. Cultural insights, or logistical support, we have so much to offer to you. So remember, you're here for a reason. You didn't come across us by mistake. Join us in shaping a brighter future and expanding your horizons. Your success is our mission at MSL. So remember, the decision is yours. Do you want professionals, or do you want to suffer on the way? We make your life easy. All you have to do is just click any of the services and we'll do the rest for you. Assalamu alaikum.